And we're back, folks. What is good? What is good? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the Esports Rewind podcast. Xanifer, hello.
Hello, Jake. How are you doing today, my guy? How are you feeling?
I'm good. How are you doing, sir?
You know what? I got no complaints.
Yeah, I feel like, a lot of the time when we talk, it's actually on the podcast because we don't really have time in between anything else.
Oh, yeah. In the office,
Hello.
It's like the occasional, like, Jake, did you see this wild tweet? And you're like,
yes.
Oh, yeah, huh?
And then it's, all right. And then
it's like, head back down, working.
Yep. We actually, if anyone is curious, anyone cares, we actually sit right next to each other in the office, and we rarely talk.
About this far apart, actually.
So either way, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Got some great stories as per usual for all of you. And again, thank you all very much for all of you guys listening, either via audio or on YouTube. We did surpass 85K just last week. We are slowly creeping towards a big goal for us in the team. So thank you all for watching. You ready to roll, Zane?
Yeah, you know what? On that same note, we're trying to hit that goal, though, that 100K, that really nice, that shiny. So if you enjoy the podcast, by all means, it really does help us. It means a lot to us if you want to throw a subscription our way.
Or leave a comment or like whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, let us know.
And besides that, though, let's kick it?
Let's kick it.
Let's kick hard. All right, Zan, we've added a few new shows, a few new series ideas coming soon as well, one of them being the Respawn Recap.
Shout out to Respawn.
And that's going to be, huge shout-outs to Respawn, one of our first partners here, and hopefully one of many to come in the future. Now, with that, though, we actually started that series, and our past one, I'm going to be pushing something because, why not just start making statements, Zan?
Go for it.
At one point or another, you kind of just got to say stuff.
Yo, frick hot takes. Let's just make statements a fact.
Let's turn this into like I don't know why I wanted to reference Ninja there. Classic, classic hot take Ninja now.
Yo, that's a statement guy if I ever saw one.
I know. I've been wanting to make this statement with you for some time and thought the podcast better than ever. I think I think FaZe Clan and Tfue. I think it's possible.
I think I know what you're going to say.
I think it's possible that FaZe Clan and Tfue put on a publicity stunt, and it could be one of the biggest things we see unravel in 2020. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm curious what your open thoughts are on that.
See, I'm kind of on board with the thought process, especially with the way they've been recently hanging out together quite a lot, being very openly happy to be hanging out too.
And before you roll, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. It is possible. I mean, heck, we just saw, maybe a couple months ago, Tana Mojo and whichever one of the Paul brothers.
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, Zan doesn't really follow that kind of YouTube side of things. Me either, but he can never tell the Paul brothers apart.
See, the problem is I do follow that part of YouTube, and I can't.
He always switches them up, no matter what the instance is.
It's not possible.
If Logan did it, it was Jake, according to Zan. But yes, that's a very good point to bring up.
That fake marriage, that's what. I feel like influencers are getting to a point now where in the past they would just say some nonsense on Twitter. Now we're getting full legal documents made just to push and angle and drive engagement and impressions.
This is why I bring the things up with you, and I love your talking points because we now know that was a publicity stunt.
Yeah, they've confirmed it.
They went ahead and their first marriage will forever be to that other person, legal documents and everything, the time, the little bit of money invested here and there. And they knew. I think the impression numbers actually came out. There was some site that posted the impressions that whole thing got worth millions of dollars for both parties.
Oh, easily. I think they were selling tickets online to watch the wedding too, or some nonsense like that. You know how.
Yeah. So with that crossover into esports and gaming, and certainly when it comes to FaZe Clan, it's more of an entertainment side of things.
Of course, yeah.
It would not be far-fetched to think, especially we have 3 different instances of these guys at least hanging out, partying, spending time with each other. They're both allegedly, those entities, FaZe Clan and Tfue, suing each other for millions of dollars, but they can look past that and say, I want to party with you. I'm going to hang with you. You're my bro. It seems a bit odd, and especially when you tie it to the fact that they are smart people.
Right, of course.
They're in that LA crowd, that very, very smart crowd of entertainment who knows what it's worth. And I hope that eventually we can break it down here's how much the lawsuit draw up took. You pay a lawyer this much, but the impressions, you got to imagine the eyeballs that turn towards Tfue and FaZe. Whether good or bad, they know that all publicity, whether good or bad, is good publicity. So I don't know. I like thinking that it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's definitely the option is out there. Absolutely. And we may never know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how that would pan out legally to say, hey guys, this was a fake lawsuit. We just wanted you court guys to talk about it. Cool thing.
So you don't think he'll rejoin?
Probably not. I don't think he'll rejoin, not officially anyway. I think what he might do is just hang out and make content together and have like some kind of mutually beneficial partnership.
Like, oh, we got over it. Like 3 years from now, I'll be like, remember when they sued each other, but now they're friends? Like, but you and me.
Yeah. Every time I look at Banks, I'll be like,
you're that fake lawsuit guy. But it's all fun. You know, I don't really care that much. I just think it's wild to think that it could be on purpose.
Yeah, if no harm, no foul. I mean, whatever.
And if it pans out like we think it does, then it's just another smart move they've made and gotten away with.
So anyway, speaking of smart in terms of esports and pros and players, let's talk about chess for a second.
Chess. Interesting move. I've never seen you take this angle before.
Chess is a secret esports title now.
You're really
in a really weird way.
You're really loving bringing up these random, like, semi-tied. Remember last week you talked about freaking F1 e-racing? So you're continuing your streak.
I find esports in the broad array of industries.
Broad's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Broad is definitely, it's out there. But anyway, so, you know, if you think of chess and competitive chess, you definitely think very quiet room, sounds of whispering commentary, like, oh, look at that move of the queen.
That's an immaculate move he just made.
Knight
to e4.
Snaps.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right?
If there are crowds.
Yeah, exactly. I would not be surprised if they don't allow people to watch. They just, like,
the parents maybe.
Yeah. But anyway, so now chess, in trying to make their move into the 21st century and regain some popularity, they're taking the esports route. So chess.com, they've got a partnership with Twitch right now, actually, to stream professional, I think it's Pro Chess League, who is, you know, changing how chess works across the board. So an average chess game for, like, you know, standard traditional competitive chess could take, like, you know, around 5 hours, right? Nobody wants to watch that. That's boring as heck.
So it's speed chess?
Speed chess.
Frickin' A.
Some of these matches can take like 2 minutes tops.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right? And I watched a couple, and it is insane. The commentators it's exactly like esports.
Oh, wait, they commentate it too?
Yeah. They've got shoutcasters, like actual shoutcasters now. Like they'll throw down like lines and everything. They'll be like, oh, that queen drop on A5. That's some Wagyu beef right there. High quality moves from Mr.
Dude,
it's insane.
It's giving me anxiety just thinking about commentating a 2-minute game of anything.
Yeah, right. I mean, of course, they also do some like more long form games as well.
Yeah,
but even then, those apparently don't last.
Queen drop.
They don't last longer than like around 30 minutes.
And it's all online?
All online. Via like an online version of chess as well, via chess.com.
Jeez.
It's wild to watch. Like they got Toby eye tracker set up too for the pros.
Shouts to Toby.
Yeah, shout outs to Toby. So you can see the eyes darting around the board like all over the place. It's actually low key kind of hype because they play like so fast.
And you know these whiz kids are just like you guys can't see my eyes proud, but all over the board.
No, it's nuts. It's like insane. Apparently, there's some respectable viewership too.
I imagine there will be for a little bit if it can catch on. Hey, if you are a chess player, you probably want to watch.
Yeah, why not, right? Just because, imagine being a chess player in like the early 2000s and then waking up one day and you have this all of a sudden.
It's like, whoa, we're going.
Yeah.
Probably so excited.
Yeah.
Are there prize pools yet?
Yeah, there are. Unfortunately, it's not like, obviously there's not like a huge organizing body like Riot Games to like put money into a prize pool.
Yeah.
So most of the money comes from donations. But the Chess League quoted that now streamers for chess on Twitch is such a huge industry that those people are making like around $100K a year.
Jeez, mother.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, I guess it's possible to sustain a lifestyle streaming chess.
Gaming and esports is making so many pathways viable that never should have been viable.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think about how far back chess stretches.
Yeah, right.
It's such a is it beyond medieval game? Like
it's probably around there, right?
And so you imagine the first people that ever played chess trying to think about where it would be now.
Yeah,
One day I'll do this for a living, and then now 300, 400 years later, people are actually doing that. Like it's just
and playing at like 5 times the speed they used to be.
Dude, this world blows my mind.
And
sometimes.
They're not playing like with their pinkies up and quietly and about like it's all screaming and getting hype and it's got jerseys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Freaking wild
it's
times.
Nuts.
You keep on. You better keep this streak alive. Next week, I expect something even better.
I'm running out of esoteric sports to come up with for esports.
Esoteric, huh? Google that one, folks. So apparently, speed chess, e-chess is a thing.
It's the future.
And we'll see how it keeps on going. All right, Zan, let's talk about drugs.
Oh, let's do it.
Did you ever, as a kid, have I don't know if you guys, any Midwest kids probably gonna know this one. Have you ever had a guy visit your old school? He was the
like from Dare.
Like,
yeah, okay.
Today we're going to talk about drugs and alcohol.
Can I tell a really funny Dare story?
I don't know if you can.
Yeah. No, it's like, it's total, it's PG, no worries.
Okay.
It's just, I just find it hilarious how, first of all, it's been proven that Dare does not work.
Dare does the opposite.
Yeah, it pushes people towards drugs. And as evidence, so the guy came to my school and gave the whole spiel, and like he was with us for like a week, and he wanted everybody in my grade level to write like an essay about, well, this is why drugs are bad, right? And I was like, this is so dumb. And so I just didn't write the essay. But then teacher at the end of the week told us we'd actually graded on it. So I just went up with a blank piece of paper and just BS'd it. And then next day, dude comes back and is like, all right, Zan, your essay was the best. We want you to get up on stage in front of the whole school and present it. And I was like,
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, not like I knew what I was.
So is this you just preaching that you're a freaking whiz kid, or just?
No, I'm good at BSing essays.
You know all about drugs, apparently.
Oh,
so
apparently,
good for our next topic.
Fourth grade Zan, very knowledgeable.
So we're gonna find out if Pete if Pete left this one in. We're talking about Adderall in esports.
Yes.
For anyone curious, COD fans, CS:GO fans, you probably knew we were going there. Kind of just keeping it brief as well. I just want to have the question because there's gonna be more videos about this. We talked about a couple weeks back a former Call of Duty pro known as Killa, and several other pros were mentioned in the Washington Post talking about Adderall being used in their esport. It's been in Overwatch, CS:GO, Call of Duty. I think a few others were also mentioned. So a lot of the top esports. And so Zan, my just blanket question to you guys watching and listening, and to also you, can we handle like drugs in esports? Can we somehow monitor drugs in esports, and how do we go about doing that?
I mean, I think it's definitely possible. I mean, clearly,
especially Adderall, Ritalin, those kind of things. Yeah, how do we go about that?
The stuff that's detectable, I would assume, right? I mean, maybe it's going to be hassle for everybody, but this has been a very open secret in the esports community for a very long time. A lot of people have always known about it. Hasn't been very publicly discussed, but everybody's always known that, like, oh yeah, the COD guys, or whoever, like, oh, the Overwatch guys are on this doing right now, right? And I feel like it's been ignored by the leagues in large part, just because, I mean, that's a whole other layer of checking and all this other nonsense. And I don't think the esports scene is strong enough right now to really support, like, I don't know, let's say, just to throw out a hypothetical, let's say you hear that one of the biggest teams in the league in like Optic or something is all on Adderall. Do you actually want to like tank your entire season of Call of Duty scores to like kick out Optic when we're still like trying to establish ourselves?
Hypothetical, by the way.
Hypothetical, fully hypothetical.
Optic could be clean.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, because they're a big name.
Yeah.
And like if a lot of people are doing it, do you disqualify a team like that who is really and truly going to support the rest of the league?
Yeah. Do you take out a FaZe? Do you take out a Liquid or TSM, whatever esport it is? I think you bring to light some really great points, especially the fact that esports, albeit we're developing, we're not quite to the level of traditional sports in terms of having the right facilitation of these kind of things. It can be very strenuous, time-consuming, and expensive to try and do this at every single event, especially games like CS:GO. You got an event every week, and so I think sporadic testing like ESL does is very nice, but they kind of stick to CS:GO only. I eventually one day I would like that, but even if you do it, my second and last question to you is, how do you go about it? Right? Let's say you have ADD or have ADHD. Do you then allow those pros to take it? Because then it becomes a system of, it's obviously here in America very easy to get prescription drugs. It's also very easy to get prescribed with ADD or to get diagnosed with ADD or ADHD to get those medications. So it becomes a very complicated process of at what level do you say no one can use it?
Of course.
Do you say you have to be diagnosed? Obviously that's probably the lean to, but then all of a sudden it becomes, it's still very easy no matter who you are.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I'd like to look a little bit more into how traditional sports handle this. Because I imagine this has to come up at some point, right? Like, I know it's a little different, obviously, playing basketball versus being in front of a computer screen, having to focus on a very small, like, area, right? But I feel like you can't, they probably can't blanket ban.
Probably not, because then if you actually do have it, you're going to...
No, is that like discrimination?
It's very unfair.
At that point? Yeah. I think what we're likely to see is for like the big franchise leagues, they'll check there because those are all events connected. And it's a very limited time. They can factor that into overall budget and everything. And they'll probably come up with a very specific set of rules to like maybe limit over like bad prescriptions or something if there is a way to do that. Even it's a rough call. It's a rough situation.
I mean, the more I think about it, it's like I don't know if we're ever gonna at least in the near future, get this. There's not really a solution at hand that anyone has presented.
And at that point, do you factor in nootropics too?
Yep, I've heard comments about that, and other people say, well, caffeine's a drug. I think that'll be one that slides.
Right.
But then it's, again, like, how do you some people don't classify these meds as PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs.
Right.
So there's a lot of angles. I think we probably can both agree that in the next, anywhere in the near future, it's not going to be. There's not going to be a solution, given how volatile everything is. Especially if you do take out top competitors.
Yeah,
there's definitely not an incentive to go hunting right now.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So we'll see if there ever is, and if there actually is a governing body who can try and address this. I think it'll take some time.
Okay, Jake, I wanted to discuss a very small story coming out of the Rainbow Six Siege scene this week. We don't touch on Rainbow Six a lot on the podcast, but, it's mainly our other content creator, Nick's territory, but, might as well dip our toes in.
Let's step all over that.
Yeah. And I think it's an interesting topic for other esports as well. So what is the official title? The game director for Rainbow Six, Leroy Athanasoff. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, my guy. He had an interview earlier this week where he revealed that the team over at Ubisoft indeed wants Rainbow Six to go free to play at some point. Yeah, because they want it to be accessible to more people.
Yeah,
right?
Makes sense.
And he provided a reason why it hasn't so far that I haven't quite heard from a dev ever, I don't think, where he's like, yeah, if we're free to play, how do we stop the Smurfs? That's our main concern right now. How do we prevent people from just making new accounts and just smurfing and ruining the game for everybody else? Interesting
angle for sure. I would have thought cheaters would have been the first one.
But
Smurfs is a new one.
Cheaters were not even mentioned. He was straight up like, yeah, it's Smurfs. That's what's up. He said he said it's a company decision. I think on the development team, we want that at some point. We want the game to be accessible to everyone, but you need certain features to be a good and successful free-to-play game, and that was the big one. And I think we see games like League of Legends and stuff do it and survive.
League of Legends, I think, is their way around it is you have to level the account to even play.
Right. And apparently you have to do the same thing in 6 Siege right now.
I wonder how long that takes for ranked.
Yeah.
Because for League, to me, again, it varies from person to person. For me, it took quite some time in League of Legends.
Right.
Obviously, for other people, it might not take, but it does take a decent amount of time.
I remember the first time when I was playing League, it took a while before I could even play casual games, I think.
Yeah. CSGO also does the same thing now. CSGO went free to play not too long back, a few months back, had terrible issues with cheaters now because CSGO, it does not take long to reach that,
that minimum bar.
I believe it's I could be stretching. Maybe it's worse now, but we have a lot of cheaters, so I got to assume it's not that hard.
Right. Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see. I've never heard the Smurf angle.
Yeah, neither have I. I mean, I guess I can maybe understand why this is a little bit more of a concern for Siege than other games, because apparently they have this thing called a newcomer queue, which is reserved for players under level 50. That's made to just make it so they can get their feet wet, get a real feel for the game before they start actually playing with a broader player base.
Yeah.
And I suppose they're worried about people smurfing just to get into that queue specifically. But, who knows? I mean, if anything else, I think they'll solve the issue. We'll probably see Rainbow Six Siege go free to play sooner rather than later.
You got to love, one, the transparency. That they're just open, hey, we got a problem with Smurfs. We're probably going to. But the fact that he's mentioning it has to be pretty hopeful. You don't mention that kind of stuff and not be working on a solution,
you don't drop a kernel hey, yeah, we're going to make the game free.
And the game's already, on Epic Game Store, $8, something cheap?
Yeah, it goes down real low, on Steam, on everything. I think last time I saw it, it was $6 on sale. I mean, not including all the DLC nonsense, because then it gets real weird, but,
I think it's only a matter of time till it's free at this point. The esports only going up, player base only going up. What we've seen so far in the past 6 months is numbers only rising.
Yeah, the game's doing big things, and it's probably only going to get bigger if it goes free to play.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think that's probably the next move for them, and we'll see how they can actually deal with the Smurfs.
Yeah.
Because other games have survived, and they're succeeding very well. So I think they probably see League of Legends. They probably see CSGO. Those numbers in those games are still only growing.
Right.
Even with the Smurf and cheating issues.
Yeah, people complain, but they still play.
Yep.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Which will never go free.
Yeah,
we know that.
Well, you say that in an Activision meeting, I'm pretty sure they shoot you on sight.
Your chair, they'd press the button.
Drops down to the floor.
R6, we're calling it sometime in the future.
Yo, maybe. I'm calling it right now.
This year?
End of next year.
I'm totally with you. For free?
Yeah, for free.
It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Smurfers, get the frick out.
Watch out.
And our conjoined topic is going to be talking about leaks that are now a week old. As you guys watching this podcast is pre-recorded, by the way. We're talking about Project A, Valorant, any other names it possibly could be. And I think this is definitely going to be a talking point for quite some time in the future for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
This could be a big thing for our channel, esports in general. So yes, we're going to hype it up, but we're also going to be honest with you guys about that hype sometimes being too strong. I'm sure you've seen it. We now have our first hero leak.
Yeah, theoretically, who knows
Sentinel
if it's
Sage.
real? Yeah.
I'm not taking too much away from it, but it's a talking point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you had a chance to look at her abilities?
I have, and I mean they're interesting. Very boilerplate, like stuff we've already seen in other hero shooters.
I don't understand too much of the backlash, although I'm a part of it because I just hate
you make the spicy tweet.
I'm combating the hype, bro. Like, it's just, I'm being honest, right? I'm excited for the game. I want it to succeed. But let's be.
Yeah, I feel like people aren't being realistic about what the game is going to be because Riot has already said it's going to be like a team-based kind of like hero class-based shooter.
Like a 5v5 competitive FPS.
Yeah, right? And regardless of problems with Overwatch or whatever else, a lot of people I think can agree that their basic formula of abilities and the way the characters work and their synergy together is pretty strong. Yeah. And I see no issue with Riot Games taking aspects of that for what is their first FPS game ever.
I mean, at this point in time, there are so many heroes, champions, gods, abilities in esports.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anything like, whoa, I've never seen that before. So, I don't know. This is also weird to me because it's also, I believe, the first person to share this kind of stuff was an Overwatch Pro. So I'm going to believe it for now. You have a wall that we saw in the original gameplay, just let's say QWER. So Q is a wall. We have an AoE slow. We have a heal and a resurrect. There's not, like, I don't know what else we can really talk about besides the resurrect because there's our team.
I know there's controversy about whether or not the resurrect is a good move or not.
We just don't know. Like, we don't know until, like,
I don't like the new hype cycle for games because it wasn't like this like 5 years ago. It was more like, oh, dope, game's coming out. Let's wait and see what it's like. And now people are like getting rabid, foaming at the mouth, like, oh, I saw this in a leak. This game is gonna suck, or this is gonna be the best game ever.
I think it shows this that there is still starvation for a killer game out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, I mean, is what gives this so much promise. Quick thoughts on the resurrection. I think we went back and forth with a bunch of people in our team about this. I don't know if there's a resurrection that's like an on-site, just a traditional resurrection besides like in Overwatch. There are resurrects in like in beacons and revives in like Fortnite.
Yeah,
Apex, COD. There at one point there was heals. COD Blackout had it. I don't know. It's so hard to compare because there are now so many different games with different aspects of resurrection.
Yeah, and I feel like it's almost too early to even bother doing that.
Like, we haven't seen it in the game, so it's like we don't know if it's egregious or not.
Works yet. I feel like whether or not resurrection is fine in a game depends on
really depends.
Yeah, it's very subjective.
So we could judge it, we could hype it. Either way, I think I haven't seen anything that's like blows my mind yet.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But by the time this does go live, we do expect beta announcements to be out.
Yeah,
so
beta announcements or something. I believe we're getting more information.
Keep in mind we're behind.
Yeah.
But once those go live, next podcast we'll probably talk about the beta and hopefully we can play it as well.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to get access one way or another.
And then once we have that, that's where I think some actual thoughts come into play.
Yeah, I think we'll see some gameplay footage is what I'm hoping for.
Yep.
Like, because obviously the game is playable, people have played it. I would hope Riot, at least at this stage, has a gameplay trailer to show people.
Better than the one we saw last year.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that's a trailer. That doesn't count. That was like nothing.
That was about 30. That was about 30 seconds in total of that video was gameplay.
Yeah.
And it was not.
Yeah, it was like. So. You know what? I can say this definitively about Valorant or Project A right now. Yeah, that's a video game. That is indeed a video game they're making.
That is a video game in the making is a really good way to put it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just too early to tell. I love how all the Twitter accounts are popping up now. They're like, hey, Project Valorant Hub, come here for all your Valorant news.
The same thing happened for Apex, though.
Yeah, but no, I can't wait for Riot to be like head fake and be like, it's not even called Valorant, guys.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Come back next week, guys. We'll talk more about Valorant, Project A, whatever it is called. We're excited. We'll see how it works out. All right, what an episode.
Oh, that was indeed an episode of the Esports Talk podcast, wasn't it?
We ran through that sucker. Zan, give him the exit spiel.
Yo, once again, if you'd like to listen to us, the Esports Rewind podcast, from Esports Talk on the go on your favorite mobile device of choice, you can find us as part of the Prediction Esports Talk Show Network. That is PREEDICTION. We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're everywhere you need us to be. So, slide through and download an episode. Give it a try. And for all of you audio listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in. We are at Esports Talk on YouTube if you'd like to catch some daily esports news content. We put out tons of videos. We keep you guys in the loop on every single story that we can, all throughout the week, really, 7 days a week. It's insane. For those of you still listening, we appreciate you. Thank you. If you want to reach out, send us a story, please do so on Twitter at talk_esports. We're on Instagram as well at esports_talk. Drop a comment on this video, subscribe if you'd like to be kept in the loop on when we're uploading. Ring the bell in particular. And, Jake, do you have anything you'd like to say?
We need to change your outro from now on. We got to consolidate that. We got to
It's a lot of stuff to
You
got
to spice it up, bro. You got to bring
how?
Something spicy next time.
I'm supposed to, burst through the table and
what's up,
folks? The video.
No, I don't really have anything. We keep on saying it every week. We're getting closer to some big announcements, but just stay tuned, y'all. All right?
Yeah, a lot of stuff in the works. A lot of just mostly paperwork at this point.
Yep.
We're just waiting to go through.
A lot of paperwork.
As soon as it is, done on our end. We just got to wait for a couple lines.
You said too much, son. You said too much.
Have I?
Drop
an extra kernel here or there.
Until next time, we hope you guys all enjoy the Esports Rewind podcast. Same day, same time, every single week. Until next time, take care of yourselves, gamers. Ta-ta.